Hey guys, good morning. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to another amazing episode of the Inspirations for Your Life show. I am your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It is always such a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys every time you decide to tune in or rewatch. You can always visit more of my great content at believemeachieve.com. And you can do that actually 24 hours a day. So why not check that out after the show? Hey, everyone. The master topic for this week has been an amazing one, creating new beginnings. And today's show is a really special one. The show today is all about resentment. Resentment holds you back. Letting go moves you forward. And I think that's an important piece for a lot of people. They don't realize what that is. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Inspirations for Your Life. Today is April 4th, 2025. And like I said, it is just great to be with you on a wonderful Friday here. So, again, the master topic for the week, in case you missed it, was creating new beginnings. And today's granular topic is resentment holds you back, letting go moves you forward. So maybe you want to run to the kitchen and get yourself something hot, something cold, something tasty and delicious. Maybe it's something healthy, something sweet, something tart or not. That's totally up to you. Great to have you here. And I don't know if you've ever noticed that resentment can linger long after the moment that caused it, like a silent passenger in your mind. It shows up uninvited, stealing your joy, clouding your clarity, and draining basically your peace. In today's empowering episode of Inspirations for Your Life, I'm going to dive deep into a truth we all need to face: resentment. It doesn't protect you, it paralyzes you. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, "Oh, I don't want to hear about this." Well, you're actually the people that do need to hear about it. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness, folks. It's an act of power, self love, and emotional courage. Whether you're holding on to pain from a broken friendship, relationship, a toxic work environment, or a moment of betrayal, um, it's important to understand what you can do. And this episode will be guiding you through why releasing resentment is the only true path forward. So please join me now as we get started. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, is resentment. Resentment creates emotional baggage that just weighs us down. Every unresolved hurt becomes part of emotional luggage that we carry. And just like physical baggage, the more we collect, the harder it is to move through life freely. Resentment isn't just a fleeting feeling, it's a sticky, persistent weight that lingers in our minds and bodies. It colors our reactions and our perceptions and distorts what we believe life is, and even sabotages our relationships and the opportunities to even go forward for greater success. And so, when you're holding on to bitterness or unresolved anger, you're not just stuck in the past, ladies and gentlemen. You're actively reliving it. And with every new day, that emotional weight, guys, grows heavier and heavier, affecting you and the way you show up in your life for yourself and for others. And releasing that weight, okay, isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about choosing to lighten up your load so you can finally move with purpose. That's right. I said with purpose, clarity, and grace. Number two, guys, holding grudges prevents healing and personal growth. I think this is important. Grudges trap you in a mental loop where you focus basically gets clouded, and you are just really concentrating on what went wrong instead of what could go right. I always say that when there is something that goes wrong, you shouldn't focus on what went wrong, just the lesson. I was teaching someone yesterday and coaching someone that was looking to get a job. And I explained to this person that, you're doing this to yourself. What do you want to forget? And it took the person a long time to think about this. I said, well, if you can't think about what you want to forget, what you don't want to repeat, the universe is going to keep repeating that until you have learned the lesson. So she's like, oh, I said, so you better figure it out. And then within a few seconds, She said, well, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to have what we came down to was self doubt. And so I said, we'll work on that in our coaching sessions. But the choice of coming out of self doubt has to come from you. Healing requires energy. That's no secret. Space and intention, and all the things that grudges consume. When we obsess over how someone wronged us, we stay emotionally tethered or connected to that person or situation. Growth, however, demands distance and perspective. By holding on to anger, we block the emotional clarity and maturity needed to evolve. Imagine for a moment trying to climb a mountain while dragging a boulder behind you. A little bit daunting, isn't it? You can do it, but it's really a lot more productive to go up that mountain, right? Without that boulder. And I think that can be a problem for some people. They carry that boulder and don't know they have one. You may make some progress, but it's slow, it's painful, it's unsustainable, and you almost want to give up. Letting go of the grudge doesn't absolve others, it liberates you, creating fertile ground for healing and, of course, a deeper transformation. Number three, guys, letting go is not about excusing others, it's about freeing yourself. One of the greatest misconceptions about forgiveness is that it lets others off the hook. But the truth is, letting go isn't about the offender at all. It's about releasing yourself from their grip. When you hold on to the anger, you essentially are handing the keys of your happiness to someone else. Why should the person who hurt you continue to have power over your peace? Letting go is an act of emotional self liberation. It's a choice to stop reliving pain, stop fueling anger, and start nurturing your inner peace. You don't let go because they deserve it. You do it because you deserve freedom, calmness, and control over your emotional destiny, and it is your given birthright. Number four, forgiveness empowers you to reclaim your energy and peace. See, forgiveness is more than a noble ideal, it's a practical, a powerful tool for mental wellness. When you hold on to resentment, you give away massive amounts of energy to negative thoughts. You're constantly rehashing events, feeling the emotional burn over and over again. That's energy you could be using to create, connect, and grow. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you're done letting it occupy your emotional bandwidth. By forgiving, you're essentially saying, I choose peace. I choose me. I choose freedom. I choose to thrive in life. And with that decision, you start to reclaim your energy, your passion, and invest it into other things and people that truly matter. Number five, resentment. Resentment can manifest physically as stress or illness. Your mind and body are deeply connected. And when emotional pain goes unresolved, your body pays the price. Chronic resentment fuels stress, which in turn can elevate cortisol levels, weaken your immune system, disrupt sleep, and even contribute to long term health conditions like high blood pressure and heart disease. That lingering tightness in your chest of the constant fatigue might not be from work. It could be resentment living basically rent free in your body. Letting go becomes not just a mental choice, but a physical necessity. When you release the bitterness, your body releases your mind, it clears, and your whole body begins to heal. Now, not overnight, folks. Number six, letting go creates space for joy, love, and of course, new opportunities. Life is always offering us something new, but we can't receive it with clenching our fists, right? Full of the past. Resentment takes up space in your heart, and that space could otherwise be filled with joy, peace, tranquility, and love. And of course, enjoying that from meaningful relationships and many exciting opportunities. When you let go, you send a message to the universe and to yourself that, hey, I'm ready for more. You open the emotional door for love to re enter, for creativity to flow, and for hope to grow. It's a spiritual detox that clears out emotional debris and makes room for the beautiful, spontaneous, and life affirming experiences you've been craving. Number seven, guys, Emotional release is essential for mental clarity and resilience. Think of your mind as a windshield. When it's covered in mud from unresolved emotions, you can't see where you're going. Letting go wipes that windshield clean. It allows you to see people and situations as they truly are, not through the lens of the past pain that you experienced. With emotional releases comes clarity, and you think more clearly at this time. And so, by you doing that, you make healthier choices and you bounce back from these setbacks with greater ease. Resilience isn't about ignoring pain or discomfort, okay? It's about processing it and moving forward wiser and stronger. The act of letting go becomes a key building block in a resilient, emotionally intelligent life. Number eight, holding on to the past keeps you stuck in it. When you constantly replay old wounds, you become anchored in time, living in a moment that no longer exists. While the world moves forward, you remain mentally tied to something that already happened. This emotional time loop prevents you from being fully present and optimistic about what the future holds. It affects your relationships, your decisions, and your inner peace. Letting go doesn't mean you erase the past. It means you stop letting it run the show. You take the lessons, you leave the pain, and finally allow yourself to step fully into the present and into your future. That's what I told my client the other day. You need to start taking the lesson and leaving the discomfort behind. Number nine, you can't move forward while dragging old pain behind you. You just can't. Trying to build a future while carrying emotional pain is like trying to drive with your car stuck in reverse. Okay. Every step forward is undetermined by unresolved emotions pulling you back. You may find yourself sabotaging opportunities, mistrusting people who mean well and have a good heart, or doubting yourself at every turn that shows up. That's not because you lack potential, it's because your heart is still tangled in old stories. When you release that pain, you lighten the emotional load, regain your momentum, and finally move toward the life you were meant to live. Again, it's not because you lack potential, it's only because you are still tangled in those old stories and you keep replaying them. Number 10, letting go is a gift you give yourself. Choose freedom over bitterness. Letting go is the ultimate act of self love. It's not about pretending these things never happen, it's about refusing to let them control you anymore. When you choose to let go, you're giving yourself the gift of peace, freedom, and emotional sovereignty. Bitterness may feel justified, but it never leads to joy. Freedom, on the other hand, feels expansive, empowering, and life changing. You get to decide whether to stay in the prison that you've built of the past or to walk out into a light of the new potential that's waiting for you. Choose freedom. It's a gift only you can give yourself. And so, what I want to do now is I want to go through all these points and give you a personal recollection, a story, if you will, of mine that can hopefully maybe transcend you, allow you to transform, give you a reason. Because I know when you hear words and I give you motivational things, it's great. But without a story, it's like, all right, John, this sounds great, but I don't buy it. That's fine. So resentment creates emotional baggage. Let me talk about one. So there was a friend of mine many, many years ago, probably maybe over 10 years ago, roughly. And this person and I were great friends. But then this person did something to betray my trust. I wanted to forgive him for what he had done. Unfortunately, every time I kept trying to forgive him, he kept betraying my trust again. And so I said, I can't forgive him right now. I can't forget. And so what I did was I kept imprisoning myself and giving him the key to my happiness, which was wrong. That took me over a year or two to figure that out. And so I realized that if he wants to live that way and he wants to, let's say, think of me in that light, that's his choice. But I, as a person, don't need to identify with it. Just because somebody puts a tag on you or says something about you doesn't mean that you have to buy into it. You see, when you buy into something, that's when we get the hurt feelings. That's when we get the pain. That's when you get the chest ache. That's when you get the aches. It happens because you're identifying. The minute you detach from something, the moment you become free. So this also links into the other point, which is holding grudges prevents healing. So because I had this grudge about what he had done to me for so long, I wasn't allowed to heal. I wasn't allowed to connect and do new things because this was holding me back. Again, I didn't know it right away, but I started realizing that my life had changed from this blissful world to one that was just challenged at every corner. And it was all because of this one story that kept playing in my head. I'm so glad that I got it out of my head and realized that that person is the way he is because of himself or because of others. But that's not my job. He's not my client. I'm here not here to coach him. It's my job to get my freedom back, to feel good, and that's what I did. So letting go is not about excusing others, it's about freeing yourself. So when I had this situation and I said, you know what, I just need to let go. I need to just let it go. And first thing I did was I said to him, I went to the Lord, actually. I'm religious. I say, you know, God, Lord, I forgive him. I forgive all the people around him. I forgive what happened. Um, I won't say I forget it, but I forgive him. And I hope he knows this. And I just ask you to push this through the universe. And after that, I felt this sense of freedom. I didn't know that I was going to get this freedom, but guess what? This freedom just suddenly, it just kind of appeared. And I was like, wow, like this was so incredible for me. And I didn't know how it was going to happen, why it was going to happen, right? I didn't really understand, um, this whole piece, I guess is probably the best thing to say. I did not understand this whole piece. And so, with not understanding the piece, what came to me um, was the fact that I have so much potential. Okay. So much potential. And again, this potential is not something that you just grab overnight, right? It's something that you have to learn from, right? You have to learn from. So forgiveness is more than that noble ideal thing that's practical and everybody should be doing. And we're told to do in the Bible, forgive 70 times 70. We forgive not just for others, we forgive mostly for ourselves so we can be relinquished from those very tight chains. All right. Resentment can manifest physically as stress or illness. I saw it many, many years ago. I saw it in the fact that it was affecting my productivity, it was affecting my happiness, right? Because it was like this thing that kept stealing from me. But I didn't know what was really going on. I just knew that this was something that I had to address. I didn't know how I was going to address it, right? I actually had no idea how addressing this was even possible. And so I will tell you that it's something that a lot of people they just they just don't realize. They don't realize that, they're doing this themselves. Okay. They do not realize it. And I think the real reason they don't realize it is because they don't understand it. They don't understand it. So understanding something is not hard, but I will tell you that it can be challenging for some people. It can be challenging for some people. Why? I think the reason is because we expect something to be a certain way. All right. And when it isn't that way, we're like fighting with ourselves, trying to change it, right? We're trying to change it. We not necessarily are able to change it, but we think that if we change it, like, or if we keep stressing on it, that it's going to get better. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, it just gets worse. It just gets worse. And then we're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And we start resenting ourselves, we resent others. And again, all you have to do is make the mental switch. That's it. Make that mental switch and say, you know what? I forgive this person. I'm not saying you have to forget, okay? But I am saying forgive the person so this way your own sanity will come back so that you will have that true peace of mind. I'm not saying this is easy, guys, but what I am telling you is that this is the key to living a blissful life. And I know all of you want to live a blissful life. I know that. So get rid of resentment, ladies and gentlemen. Get rid of it. Emotional release is essential for mental clarity and resilience. All right, this sounds like a real big one, and it is. Our emotions basically drive us, or let's say motivate us, or de-empower us. That's what our emotions do, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with them or not. Our emotions do that. So when you take on the belief of someone, even if you don't agree with it, just the fact that you're associating with it, it's going to make you feel lousy. I mean, really lousy. And by the time you figure it out, it's like, oh my gosh, like, how am I ever going to get over this? It's not going to be easy. No, it's not going to be easy. And the reason it's not easy is because you've been telling yourself this program over and over again for who knows, hours, days, weeks, months, maybe even years. And you can't expect to change it overnight, but you can make some gradual progress on it. I think that's a point that a lot of people don't realize is that you might not be able to get through this anguish overnight, but you will get over it. And you see, the more you change the narrative in your head, the more you'll see that it becomes a reality. It does not happen overnight, friends. I'm going to share that with you. So, how do you release emotions? Oh boy. The best way, as I said to you, is you need to forgive. Okay. You need to detach yourself from the feeling. How can you do that? There are lots of ways we've talked about. One way is you can take the image, maybe you picture it on a screen, okay? And you could basically picture what's going on, and you could imagine yourself, turning. You can close your eyes. You could turn the knobs down so that the color or the contrast goes out, right? You can even take the picture that you've got, right? And you can just squash it, make it smaller, make it so small that it has so little impact. And then you could take it and you could just throw it, and you can keep doing that. And that's just one of the many techniques I coach. So you can do this. Why do people want to hold on to the past? Maybe they feel that they want to be a martyr. Maybe they feel that it's their role in life to hold on to the past. You don't need to hold on to the past. There is nothing really good about holding on to the past unless it's something that empowers you. All right, that's important. You can't move forward while you're dragging pain, hurt, emotional anguish all behind you. And even if you don't know that you have this pain, if you're someone that doesn't smile, if you're someone that doesn't enjoy things beside just, being alone, chances are you've been hurt. And I'm not saying you're never going to get hurt again, but I'm here to tell you that you have to start believing that things are going to be better. And you know what? If you believe, they will get better. But if you keep thinking about, oh my gosh, this person hurt me, this person can hurt me again, you're going to get the same stuff over and over again. So why do that to yourself? Letting go is a gift you give yourself. Letting go is a gift you give yourself. That's a cool one, right? Letting go is a gift you give yourself. That's hard to understand, right? It is. I think when you let go, a nice thing that happens is you get this light feeling, all right? You get a very light feeling in your mind and your body. You start to feel better for lots of things. There could be lots of things that will make you feel better, right? Some things will feel great. You'll just do something like, oh my gosh, that's just so amazing, right? Um, I think most people in life don't want resentment, but unfortunately, they get stuck. It finds them, it backs them in a corner. Like, okay, John, what do I do now? It's like it backed me into a corner. What do I do? Well, you've got to figure out what is bothering you. Resentment may seem like a shield, but in reality, it's a chain that quietly holds you back. And so we explored a lot here how unresolved anger and emotional wounds don't just affect your mindset, they weigh down your spirit and they block your path to growth and opportunities in the future. Holding on to grudges may feel justified and like you're being the most in control person, but they only keep you stuck in those very sad and bad moments that have hurt you most. Letting go isn't about forgetting or excusing the pain or even excusing the other person to get them off the hook. It's about choosing to reclaim your power, your peace, and your energy. Forgiveness is a radical act of self care that frees your mind, nourishes your soul, and restores clarity. When you release resentment, you also release tension from your body, stress from your thoughts, and bitterness from your heart. People can tell when you're a person that is resenting them or when you're someone that's holding grudges. They can tell, I can feel it. True freedom comes when you stop letting the past dictate your future. This episode, I encouraged you to take brave steps to finally let go of what no longer serves you in this world so you can make space for love, joy, and future opportunities. Remembering that the most powerful gift you can give yourself is the emotional liberation, choosing peace, choosing growth, but most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, choosing you. So I have a question for you. If letting go is going to make you feel so good, why do you still hang on to it? I'm going to tell you. It's because it's more comfortable to hang on. Even though it's painful, you'd rather hang on to it than be worried about the discomfort that might settle in if you try to get rid of it. I got news for you. In order to heal, there might have to be a little discomfort. But then once you heal, guess what? You're a lot better than you were before. All right, guys, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys in the amazing shows and content that I create here. Be sure to visit BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to catch you guys on another show real soon. If you don't see me on BelieveMeAchieve.com, take care, everyone.